What's up guys, Houndish here, and this week coming in Destiny 2, we get the epilogue for Season 14. It is a roadmapped piece of content which Bungie have been pretty quiet about, aside from actually putting it on the roadmap. In fact, if you haven't been looking at the roadmap recently, you may have forgotten it's actually going to be a thing. So in the video today, we're going to touch on what we know about this final event for Season of the Splicer. And we should mention right now that if you don't want spoilers, this is a good point to turn away. But of course, you can use this as a reminder to check it out in-game as of August 10th. But otherwise, we're going to break down the info that we currently have, since there are a few bits of information about what we're going to see. So if you guys enjoy the video, a rating down below really does help us out on the channel. Also, if you're new around here, feel free to get subscribed and turn on notifications, and I'll keep you posted on everything related to Destiny 2. But now let's speak about the epilogue. And so firstly, it is shown on the roadmap for the season starting on August 10th, and that's going to be the weekly reset on Tuesday this week. As far as we can tell, it doesn't appear to be a timed event or one of those you had to be there kind of things, so it should be available for this final 2 weeks of the season as far as we know. And so based on that, as long as you've finished the Season 14 quests up until now, if you sign in between August 10th and the start of Season 15, you should be able to witness all of the epilogue content. And to recap the very basics of the story this season, of course the Fallen moved into the last city and set up a camp at the Botsa ruins. They did have Vanguard approval to do it, but early on we saw that Saint 14 wasn't sure if it was a good idea. And the Fallen managed to change his mind by telling him the story of how the Fallen fear Guardians, and specifically the terror that has been brought to them by the character of Saint 14. And so he came around to the idea, but Lakshmi on the other hand is still incredibly unhappy about the Fallen presence. She disagrees strongly with the Vanguard that they should be allowed in the last city, and also she spread toxic unrest about the Fallen, causing citizens of the last city to vandalize their camp. On top of this though, she tells us her predictions about the Vex and the risk of an all-out attack. And these have been the elements that have been set up throughout the season in preparation for this epilogue phase. Now again, the roadmap shows the epilogue beginning on August 10th, but in terms of what it will actually consist of, it turns out there are 2 remaining quests for this season. And we can see these right now on Light GG, but the first one is called as prophesied. As we can see from the first couple of steps, there is an urgent message at the Splicer servitor in the Elixni wing of the Helm. So we'll need to go there, but also to listen to Lakshmi 2's broadcast using the radio in the Elixni wing. And then the third step is to defend the last city from a Vex incursion. So obviously, the Splicer servitor and then Lakshmi are going to call our attention to this event taking place. And the step to defend the last city appears to come in the form of a mission. So this is where Bungie have left a few threads for us to follow. Initially, we had this screenshot from the Bungie press kit, and it appears to show Vex in the Botsa ruins camp. So naturally this pairs well with the warnings from Lakshmi. But on top of this, throughout the season, it's been discovered that there is also an activity node for this mission on Bungie.net, which shows a last city override mission. And the description reads, use your splicer skills to crush the Vex assault on the last city and collapse their network. It also has modifiers of Shocker, Empath, and then Barrier Champions, and Unstoppable Champions. And when we look at that full activity image, it shows us that this is going to be a full-blown override mission taking place at the Elixni camp. And the activity node kinda suggests that this one will work like the other overrides, unlocking as one of the selectable maps for the mode. We're not sure how long it's going to stick around for, whether it'll be a one-off mission that you just complete as part of the quest, or whether it'll stay in the rotation. Kinda looks like it'll stick around as an activity, as it does show up in the LFG section on Bungie.net. But Bungie even showed us the final enemy, or boss for this, so we haven't seen this guy in-game yet, and this was from the Season 14 trailer, so we can assume they're likely to be the boss once we cross through the portal. And so that quest is going to start out with a lot of dialogue at the Splicer servitor. Then we'll head to the last city for the override mission, and for the final 2 steps, it simply lists us speaking to Saint 14 and Ikora in the tower, so it looks like we're going to have a lot of dialogue to help wrap up the key story for the season. And so that is the first quest, but there are 2 different quests listed. And it looks like the second one will logically follow on from the Override Assault quest, simply called Hero's Memorial. And so initially we need to speak with Mithrax through the Splicer servitor, and the second step is simply to interact with the joint human and Elixni memorial in the tower. So we currently have very little idea what the memorial will actually be like. Obviously it is primarily going to be a story thing, but it looks to be a simple interaction following the Vex Assault. And looking at the Splicer servitor in the database, it shows a quest step complete dialogue with some rewards available. The dialogue reads, Mithrax's tone is somber, even filtered through the servitor. Many victories are made sacred with loss. Our victory over Quiria and the Vex is just so. After a meditative pause, he continues, "It's right to celebrate, but celebration must also remember our lost heroes, humans, and Elixni." And when we visit the memorial to pay respects, we can see those 2 rewards listed. There is an Ascendant Shard right there as an option. I'm not sure if we can take both the Ascendant Shard and the other exotic, but Forbidden Memory is the name of the exotic ship that we can see here. It's a pretty cool looking thing, and it's going to be at least one of the rewards associated with the end of the season. Now, we should also mention it could be the case that this is available immediately after the last city override is complete, or since there are 2 weeks left in the season, we might see the last city override this week and then the Heroes Memorial on the very final week, for example. We just can't be certain. However, these are the final 2 quests in Season 14, as well as that hidden mission in Bots of Ruins, so as always, give us any thoughts you have about those. But in terms of whether there could be any more to this, a lot of players have been wondering whether we're going to see an additional exotic quest this season. And typically we would see more exotic weapons in a season than what we've had. And we haven't had a hidden exotic this time around, but the answer for the moment is that we just don't know if anything else is there. Some players are speculating because early in the season, we saw a bunch of oracles spawn in the Lost Sector on Tangled Shore, looking entirely like it could be part of a secret quest or something like that. But Bungie took it out of the game, stating that it was a mistake. And this has made players even more curious as to whether it's going to be a thing for a quest. But again, currently we have no info about that. We certainly don't know of any links between the Epilogue and a potential exotic quest. So for the moment, considering there is no info about an exotic weapon coming up, it means it's entirely possible that we'll get something, but it's probably a minor possibility at this point, with the Epilogue really being to close out the story component of the season. But of course, I hope I'm mistaken on that. It would be very cool to get an exotic quest or something like that. However, for today, that is everything we know about the Epilogue currently, but it's going to be launching in the game this week, so it's going to be something cool to check out, and I'll keep you posted if we get anything remarkable. But for the video today, guys, that's what we have to speak about. So as always, give us your thoughts down in the comment section, any stuff you'd love to see as part of that final override mission. The next major beat will be that reveal for the future of Destiny 2 on August 24th with the start of a new season. So as always, I'll keep you posted about that. And if you've enjoyed the video today, a rating down below really does help us out. But also, be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted on the world of Destiny 2. But for now, thanks as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.